For centuries, these mysteries had no explanation. Ancient structures that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Bizarre historical phenomena that no one could account for. Strange artifacts that suggested knowledge we thought didn't exist. Theories ranged from aliens, to lost civilizations, to powers we don't understand. But over the last few decades, using DNA analysis, chemical testing, satellite imaging, and modern physics, scientists have finally cracked open some of history's most stubborn mysteries. And the real answers are often more fascinating than the myths. Today, 10 ancient secrets that science has finally solved. Welcome back to the hidden archive where history hides its secrets. Subscribe if you're new. We uncover a new mystery every week. Let's count them down. In 1901, divers exploring a Roman shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera discovered a corroded lump of bronze that sat in a museum drawer for decades, largely ignored. When scientists finally X-rayed it in the 1970s and then subjected it to advanced CT scanning in the 2000s, they discovered something that shouldn't have existed. A mechanical computer. Built around 100 BC, the Antikythera Mechanism contained over 30 precisely cut bronze gears that could predict the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, track the 4-year cycle of the ancient Olympic Games, and even predict solar and lunar eclipses years in advance. For over a century, historians couldn't explain how ancient Greek engineers could build something this sophisticated. Nothing of comparable complexity would be built again for over 1,000 years. In 2021, researchers at University College London finally reconstructed a complete digital model of the mechanism's gearing system, revealing it was even more sophisticated than previously understood, incorporating irregularities in the moon's orbit that Babylonian astronomers had discovered centuries earlier. The mystery wasn't aliens. It was that ancient Greek engineering was simply more advanced than history had given it credit for. For centuries, the giant stone heads of Easter Island known as Moa puzzled the world. Where were their bodies in 2012? Extensive excavation finally answered the question. The Moa are not just heads. They have full bodies buried up to the neck in centuries of accumulated soil and sediment. Excavations revealed elaborate carvings on the buried torsos, including symbols never seen before. But the bigger mystery was how the Rapa Nui people moved these massive statues, some weighing up to 82 tons, across the island without modern machinery. In 2012, researchers from University of Hawaii and California State University conducted a full-scale experiment. Using ropes attached at precise points, a small team demonstrated that the statues could be walked upright by rocking them side to side, exactly matching the wear patterns found on the base of surviving Moa and matching Rapa Nui oral traditions that always claimed the statues walked to their locations. The ancient story turned out to be literally true. In 1938, a strange clay pot containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod was discovered near Baghdad, dating to approximately 200 BC to 224 AD. The design bore a striking resemblance to a simple electrical battery. For decades, this fueled speculation about ancient electrical technology, some suggesting the Parthians used it for electroplating gold, or even for medical treatments. Modern experiments have confirmed that replica versions of the device can indeed generate a small electrical charge when filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or wine, approximately 0.5 to 2 volts. But in 2012, more careful chemical and archaeological analysis provided a much simpler explanation. The residue inside matches containers used for storing sacred scrolls, with the metal components serving a ritual rather than electrical purpose. The battery effect, researchers concluded, was almost certainly an unintended coincidence of the materials used, not a deliberate ancient electrical device. Not aliens. Not lost technology. Just a container that happened to look like something it wasn't. Historians long knew that ancient Roman elites suffered unusually high rates of gout, infertility, and cognitive decline, but the cause remained debated for decades. In 2014, comprehensive analysis of Roman-era skeletal remains and historical water pipe samples confirmed the answer: lead poisoning. Roman aristocrats drank water transported through extensive networks of lead pipes called fistulae. They also used lead vessels to sweeten wine, creating a compound called lead acetate, literally sugar of lead, which the Romans used as an artificial sweetener. Studies of Greenland ice cores in 2018 revealed something extraordinary. They could actually measure Roman-era atmospheric lead pollution from lead smelting, showing it was significant enough to detect 2,000 years later in polar ice. The wealthy elite who had the most access to lead pipes and lead-sweetened wine likely suffered chronic lead poisoning for generations, potentially contributing to declining fertility and cognitive problems among the Roman aristocracy in the empire's final centuries. For decades, the massive geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert, visible only from the sky, fueled theories ranging from ancient alien landing strips to astronomical calendars. In 2023, a team using AI-assisted satellite image analysis combined with traditional archaeology made a breakthrough discovery, identifying over 300 previously unknown Nazca figures, nearly doubling the known total. The AI analysis, combined with careful study of the geoglyphs' locations relative to ancient trade routes and water sources, has led most archaeologists to a consistent conclusion: the lines were not built for aliens, but for the Nazca people themselves and their gods. Many figures point toward water sources critically important in one of the driest deserts on Earth. Researchers believe the lines were part of ritual pathways, walked during ceremonies asking for rain and fertility, with the figures serving as offerings visible to sky deities. The AI discoveries also revealed that smaller, more numerous figures were made in earlier periods, while a distinct set of larger geometric lines were built later, suggesting the site's purpose evolved over centuries of continuous ritual use. For nearly 1,000 years, the Byzantine Empire held a devastating military secret: Greek fire, an incendiary weapon that could burn on water, used to devastating effect against enemy ships. The formula was one of the most closely guarded state secrets in history, known only to the imperial family and a select few, and it was eventually lost entirely when Constantinople fell in 1453. For centuries, no one could definitively recreate it. Modern chemists and historians, working from surviving Byzantine texts and comparative analysis of medieval incendiary weapons, now believe Greek fire was most likely based on a naphtha or crude petroleum base mixed with pine resin, sulfur, and quicklime. Experiments conducted in the 2000s demonstrated that a quicklime-based mixture reacts violently and ignites on contact with water, which would explain the weapon's most famous and terrifying property. While the exact original formula remains unknown, modern reconstructions have successfully replicated fire that burns on water's surface, confirming the science was plausible, even if the precise ancient recipe is lost forever. The Voynich Manuscript, a mysterious illustrated book written in an unknown language, dated to the early 1400s, has defied every attempt at translation for over a century, including efforts by professional military code breakers during World War II. In 2019, researcher Gerard Cheshire proposed a solution using linguistic analysis, claiming the manuscript was written in a lost Proto-Romance language, a mixture of Latin and early Mediterranean dialects used by 15th-century nuns. This particular theory was quickly and firmly rejected by the professional linguistics community as fundamentally flawed. However, a growing body of statistical and computational linguistic analysis published throughout the 2010s and 2020s has revealed that the manuscript's text follows genuine language-like statistical patterns, including consistent word frequency distributions matching real languages, strongly suggesting it is not a meaningless hoax, as some had proposed, but an actual constructed or genuinely unknown language. As of today, the manuscript remains officially undeciphered. But science has at least solved one part of the mystery. It almost certainly is real language, encoding real information. We simply haven't found the key yet. For centuries, the exact purpose and construction method of Stonehenge remained deeply mysterious. In 2020, geological analysis definitively traced the origin of Stonehenge's smaller bluestones to a specific set of quarries in the Priestley Hills of Wales, over 150 miles from Stonehenge's location in England. This confirmed that Neolithic people deliberately transported multi-ton stones across enormous distances, likely using a combination of wooden sledges, ropes, and possibly transport by water along ancient rivers and coastlines. Then in 2021, a breakthrough discovery revealed something extraordinary. Researchers identified a dismantled stone circle in Wales called Wan Mon, located near the bluestone quarries, with a diameter matching Stonehenge exactly, and containing a gap matching one specific bluestone still present at Stonehenge today. The evidence strongly suggests that Stonehenge was not built once in England. It may have originally been constructed in Wales, then dismantled and rebuilt at its current location by migrating communities, who brought their sacred monument with them across the landscape. We covered this mystery in detail in an earlier video, but it deserves its place on this list because of how recently the final piece was solved. For decades, theories about the Maya collapse ranged from warfare to environmental collapse to disease. In 2012, comprehensive analysis of lake sediment cores in the Yucatan Peninsula, combined with advanced climate modeling published through the 2010s, confirmed a specific and severe multi-decade drought event between 800 and 900 AD, the most severe in over 2,000 years of regional climate history. Combined with evidence of deforestation, warfare, and overpopulation, scientists now have a confident, comprehensive answer. Environmental collapse triggered a cascading crisis that no single factor alone could explain. And at number 1, perhaps the most contested religious relic in history. The Shroud of Turin, a piece of linen cloth bearing the faint image of a man's body, claimed by some to be the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, has been studied, debated, and fought over for centuries. In 1988, radiocarbon dating conducted by 3 independent laboratories dated the cloth to between 1260 and 1390 AD, a medieval origin, centuries after the time of Christ. This seemed to definitively debunk the shroud's authenticity as a 1st century artifact. But the story took another turn. Critics of the 1988 test pointed out that the sample used may have come from a medieval repair patch woven into the shroud, rather than the original material, a claim supported by some subsequent textile analysis. In 2022, Italian researchers used a novel X-ray dating technique on shroud fibers, and controversially reported results consistent with a 1st century origin, reigniting the entire debate. The scientific consensus today remains that the 1988 radiocarbon dating is the most reliable evidence available, pointing to a medieval origin. But the 2022 study has not been fully replicated or accepted by the broader scientific community, meaning that even science's most rigorous tools have not fully closed this particular case. Some mysteries, it turns out, remain genuinely contested even after decades of study. From ancient computers to walking statues to a religious relic that still divides scientists, these 10 mysteries show something remarkable about how knowledge actually works. Sometimes the answer is more incredible than the myth, an ancient Greek computer more sophisticated than anything built for 1,000 years afterward. Sometimes the answer is refreshingly simple, a container mistaken for a battery. And sometimes, even with all our modern science, the mystery refuses to fully close. Which of these solved mysteries surprised you the most? Leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to the Hidden Archive, a new mystery every week, where history hides its secrets. End.